Thieves snatch Rep. Adam Schiff's luggage in San Francisco. He gives dinner speech without a suit. Oh, poor him. Okay, the real story here is that crime is out of control. And I throw it back to that Benny Johnson video. I don't know if you guys saw that one where he was reporting on crime and got robbed in like while he's filming this video. Everyone's kind of cheering the story on because Adam Schiff, of course, is a Democrat who champions these policies. He's very anti-Trump. And the policies that he has pushed and championed as part of the Democratic Party has led to great suffering. And I guess when people say, hey, look, now he is, victim of these crimes as well, there's a bit of schadenfreude in there. I don't think it's going to change anything, though.
Well, and I think part of it is that what I'm seeing widely reported is, everyone who goes to San Francisco is advised, do not leave anything in your car, anything valuable at all. And for whatever reason, this congressman who represents a California district that has a major city, it's like part of LA, was like, rules don't apply to me. No worries. This wouldn't happen to me. I mean, is this a sense of being out of touch, or is this just, people make mistakes and leave stuff in their car, but he should know that most major cities in California are extremely dangerous. I mean,
SF is like the place,
right,
where it's like all happening. Part of me is like, this guy's like a deep state stooge. So he of course knows about this. And I guess there's a possibility that Democrats just don't read the news and they have no idea what's going on. So he's like, I can't believe this happened. Who would have known?
I think at this point it's just very clear that liberals are incapable of self-government. They aren't able to enforce the law. They aren't able to have anything that's pro-social. Everything about their coalition is about destroying law and order. And so I think when the consequences come, they don't care, because ultimately the important part is using a narco-tyranny to govern a lot of people that they hate.
Yeah, it does seem like it's something that happens to other people in their eyes, and it's not something you have to think about. It's interesting because I just pulled the crime statistics, but one of the areas that's in his congressional district is West Hollywood, which has seen a 137% crime increase in 1 year. That was in 2022. I mean, he knows that crime is bad. What was he thinking? And also, again, does it just not matter? Is he not thinking?
I mean, I don't know what the hell he's thinking. Like, it's kind of obvious. You can look around and you see like a ton of homeless people and stuff. Like you can just use your kind of just gut instinct to be like, hey, this area looks like it's not a good idea to leave stuff in my vehicles. He has to know about, the policies of the rental car places that are like, telling people don't leave anything in your car or whatever. Like, so, I mean, it's funny that it happened to him, but I mean,
I'm going to go with Orrin on this one. And liberals are not capable of self-governance. He just has no idea what's going on, does he?
I mean,
it's out of touch, it seems like.
No cause and effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he has to worry because now his suitcase could be in the possession of a cross-dresser who works for the Biden administration, right? I mean,
no, that only happens at airports and to women.
Oh, okay, all right.
And part of me looking at all this stuff, I'm kind of like, maybe this is just the ebb and flow of society, that we have made everything so safe and comfortable that those who normally could not survive in this environment are now capable of doing so and then achieving political power, which causes conflict. It's like the fourth turning. It's a Strauss-out generational theory. But I don't think it's necessarily that weak men make hard times is the easy way to put it. It's that there's just lack of responsibility across the board. I guess it's technically true to say weak men create hard times make strong men make good times, all that stuff. But what I see here is people vote for random chaos. I look at it more like just static. It's noise, right? There's no organization because the strong people allow the chaos to actually grow. Then the chaos overtakes the order, things go crazy, and then things so it's like an ebb and flow of order and chaos, I guess.
There's just the fact that our society demands a social safety net, it totally glosses over the fact that the existence of a social safety net is saving people that otherwise would not be saved. And that means that and it's very Darwinian and stuff, but it's like if you have people that otherwise would die off or couldn't survive, with the social safety net, that's making sure that these people survive. So it's like, you're going to have a society, you're going to have a portion of your society that you have to do something with that can't function in society because of the fact that you have a social safety net, right? We don't allow people to just die in the street. So you have to have a society that says we acknowledge that we have a social safety net and we're going to do something about it. And that's something that California hasn't done. If you're going to have a social safety net, you have to have a place to put people that can't function in society normally.
I feel like if we didn't have a social safety net, we wouldn't have people dying in the street. I feel like it is the creation of the social safety net which creates people dying in the street.
It reduces the responsibility of families and communities to take care of people.
Yeah.
If you had smaller communities, if you had communities that weren't artificially created, people would feel a duty. They would know the guy at the end of the street. They would know the family he's connected to. They would feel compelled to do that. But when it's handed over to the government, they don't feel that. And so therefore they're like, well, that's someone else's problem. And that abstraction allows them to have this stuff.
But it's not just that. I think there would be substantially less of that circumstance in the first place. We create a system where you are able to make a choice of, you know what, I won't work. Well, because someone takes care of you.
Yeah.
If we were talking about natural order and natural law, we would not have these problems, because it'd quite literally be like, good luck finding food. You would be too busy trying to survive and find food. But because food is easily abundant, because you don't have to work because of government assistance and all these programs, it creates an option for people to take. And then you've got people in big cities who are thinking, well, they're not going to criminally charge me. What's easier, hunting a boar or stealing luggage from this guy's car? Clearly stealing luggage. There's no conflict. So you get rid of all of this stuff and just say to people, good luck, figure it out. And they will. They will take the option and say, well, I guess I have no choice but to go hunting or farming or something. But give them an option to steal and loot and pillage and then get away with it. You know, it's the that episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes missing and Marge is like, we have to go this way. And like, how do you know which way he's going? And she's like, Springfield slopes, 5 degrees to the west. So Homer's going to walk downhill. Criminals are going to do the same thing. You create two paths, one's slightly downhill and one's flat, and they're going to be walking downhill. So that is, commit crimes, get away with it. They will. You eliminate all that and say your only path toward survival is figuring it out, and people will go in that direction.
Well, I mean, this is the libertarian argument for small government or no government, or capitalist argument. The existence of the safety net means people are going to inherently say, I'm going to rely on it because I know that I can get the very basics taken care of. And especially in modern society, like we have the distractions that are so easy for people to access the internet, and if you can make money on, get enough from Social Security or make a little bit of money on a side hustle or whatever, and you can pay for your apartment and pay for the internet and pay for some weed, like that is the opiate of the masses for today.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's clearly not good for society, but that is what society is promoting at the end of the day. And the reason I say that is because there are so many people choosing that option, So
do you think that's because they have a lack of motivation, a lack of religion? Like what drives people to sort of pick this?
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's a combination of things. So, but I think that I think it's a lot of things. I think that a lack of religion, not because I personally am religious, but because it gives meaning to a lot of people and it gives order to people.
People lack purpose.
I think that as much as people say they want to be free, which everyone wants to feel like they have options and stuff, I think most people need some kind of structure in their life. And I think that society should promote a structure that is best for most people. It's okay to have, in my opinion, a society that makes room for people that are outside of the norm, right? Like you want to live a different type of lifestyle, we can have a society that makes room for it. But the idea that society is promoting, alternative lifestyles is totally counterproductive to society itself, right? Like you shouldn't be saying, hey, we should promote single mothers and we should hold single mothers in high esteem. And it's hard because you don't want to say, look, you're a single mother, so you're bad. But at the same time, we want to promote 2-parent households, like that's what's best for society. And that's not like, it's not like it's my opinion saying that, like, that's
this
kind
gets
of
modern in studies all the time.
And it's like, look at societies that are successful. Generally, that's kind of the way they work on modern planet Earth,
You saw the mayor of San Jose had that fight or whatever happened. He's like giving an interview, and then some crazy guy in the street just walks up to a security guard and starts punching him. And, like, really gets up, knocked right
California
in the face.
gets better and better every day.
You know what the thing is with California is combine giving people free stuff with good weather.
Yeah,
and it's the perfect
weather,
storm.
Dude, it's the weather. Every time I go there, I went there like I think I went to California 6 times last year, and every time I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not
well,
going to move here, but I get it.
Gorgeous, you know what I mean? Like parts of
every day's
California are
awesome.
great.
February, I leave New Hampshire, drive down into Hartford, get on the plane, and it sucks at 4 a.m. or whatever. Land in California, you're just like, oh, it's beautiful. No wonder why. Like, it's so nice. They can literally imprison people, and only the rich people can get out of there, you know?
But does that say something about the state that it only attracts like the people who have things easiest? Like maybe there's some continuity there between like connection between like the difficulty of life and the rhythms of life and how many people come there and end up just living outside and wasting away in that environment. I don't know. Just
well, I mean, it does. There is something to be said about people that decide to stay in like northern climates that are more difficult to live in. Like there are people that are like a little bit more like, I would rather be, in this kind of environment. Pardon me?
Utqiagvik.
Yeah, that's up there, right? In Alaska, those people are serious about their independence. But I mean, that's kind of like if you want independence, it's Florida or somewhere cold nowadays.
But we did talk about this on the Culture War podcast this morning, that communists I have this backwards, but cold weather people tend towards community or communal or even communism. And that's why Canada is the way it is, because it's the people who survived there were people who relied on each other. And so they're very much just do what you're told to do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because and then you can freeze in parts of Canada, especially if you're completely by yourself.
And then you get Florida people who are just like, leave me alone or else. And Texas, communists like cold. That's it. There you go.
I am sympathetic to the idea that the people that like decided to come to like New England or to the United States or whatever, like whatever wave of people it is, they are the people that are like tend to be more like, hey, I'm going to go and make my life, as opposed to, people that are just like, hey, I feel a connection to this land or whatever, like, because there are people that are like, like I feel like I'm a New Englander. No matter, I'm probably always going to feel like I'm a New Englander.
I think
like,
I always will too.
And
I'm first gen New England. Like there is something about growing up in that region. There, like the sense of history, the culture that's there, like it's unique. I think there are a lot of different unique regional cultures in America, and I think you're right. It probably does have to do with like who went there, right? Like I think. I lived in Dallas for a little while, and at the time there were tons of businesses moving there. And it reminded me a lot of sort of like the German settlers who decided like, well, we're just going to go to Texas and make it work, because Texas is not like a naturally easy place to, I don't know, farm or anything like that. Or you see it with like Minnesota has a very serious Scandinavian influence in the culture because of the settlers that ended up there.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.